find mountain pose. So really plant your feet on the ground, spread all your toes out. Think about grounding through your big toe mounds, pinky toe mounds, and your heels. You might roll your shoulders back. And then as you're ready, sweep your arms up, grab your left hand with your left wrist with your right hand, stretch up through your side body and lean over towards the right, keeping your chest open. So you're here in crescent stretch or in tadasana. When you're ready, come back to center and switch sides. You might notice, where is your weight in your feet? Like, pay attention to where it is. There's no right answer for that. It's whatever your body chooses. And come back to center, switch sides again. And this time you might also consider shifting your weight into that right foot, really grounding through that, maybe lifting your left heel up, or maybe hovering that foot. And trying this out, seeing what does it take to stay stable. And if you feel like you're pretty comfortable with this, you might try lowering and lifting that foot. So that left foot, keeping it flexed, maybe bringing it closer to your standing foot and then further away. And so it might take a lot to, at the same time, maintain some sort of stretch through your outer body. So that keeping a toe on the ground or even placing that foot back down and just really grounding into your right leg might be a great way to do it. Lots of options. And when you're ready, you can release that. Maybe kind of wiggle yourself around. Try a little seaweed freeform movement after all that like tight stability. Just kind of loosen things up a little before trying it on the other side whenever you're ready. And as always, make sure you're really honoring your body and what it feels like is going to be useful for you today. So might be different on different days, might be different side to side on your body. So the work it takes in this posture, just to keep yourself open through your chest as you're stretching up, as you're leaning, is going to be engaging your entire core. And then if you choose any of these extra balance options, hovering your heel, hovering your foot, or even adding the perturbance of moving that leg in space, this is going to add on a lot of extra things that might not be as predictable for your body. So things are going to have to shift on the fly and really work to keep you stable. So we're working on stability here and strengthen the core in particular. And whenever you're ready, you can release that and try a little more kind of loose, flowy seaweed, whatever feels right. And just see if you notice that there's quite a bit of tension that kind of builds up in a posture like that and could maybe be released. And feel free to be creative or just like really listen to your body in these kind of seemingly in between points when I say try out whatever feels good, because this is just as much of the practice as everything else. So as you're ready, step your legs out pretty wide and turn your toes out a bit into a position that feels comfortable in your body. And then begin to kind of bend through your knees, not kind of, but definitely bending through your knees, and see if you can maintain an uprightness through your body. So you're kind of sitting down here. So your body is upright, which might require some real core engagement, particularly in your lower abs, and stability, maybe tucking your tail a little, just depends on your body. And you might shift your weight from side to side a little. We're coming into this kind of moving version of goddess or Utkatta Konasana, which is a posture that requires a lot of strength and stretchiness. So come down only so far as it feels like good work for you. And you might get a little creative in how you shift your weight. Like I tend to just kind of naturally do this side to side movement. Maybe side to side doesn't feel good and maybe you just come up and down, but see if, or maybe you stay still, but just see like what feels right to you. And then you might take some time to consider your arms. What do they want to do? So keeping your hands at your hips might be really great. Lifting them up into goalposts might feel good. And if your thighs are like, hey, this is a lot, you might try straightening, stretching everything out, and then coming back down and just seeing how does that feel? So it might be like a full body yawn and then tension and work. Or it might not feel like that at all. And then if at any point you want to hold this posture, coming down into this lowered goddess pose, you might try that. And if staying still here feels, you don't have to. Another option for movement that you might consider would be lifting one heel, placing it down, and then lifting the other and placing it down. And that might be a lot of balance work. It might be a lot of sensation, particularly in your calves. And another thing you could try would be lifting your toes. So coming up on your heel, lifting your toes. Trying it on one side and then the other. Noticing if you're trying that, how does that change what you feel? And then as you're ready, you can release that. Point your toes forward. And then take a moment to really lift up tall. And as you're ready, hinging from your hips, fold forward, keeping your back pretty flat until you're about halfway down. You can place your fingertips on the ground or on blocks. And then as you're ready, if you would like to fold all the way forward, dropping your head, dropping your body down towards the floor, you can do that. So you're in Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. And you could be still here, or if your body feels like moving a little, you might soften through your joints a little, keeping enough engagement to keep you steady, but maybe finding a little movement. Make sure you're breathing as freely as possible. And as you're ready, if you're folded all the way forward, come halfway up, pause with a flat back, and then take your time lifting your body all the way up to standing. And if at any point you feel dizzy, sometimes pressing your hands together, your palms together, and squeezing can help alleviate that. But take your time turning find some buoyancy in your legs for sure. Take your time turning your left foot towards the short end of your mat and then shifting your feet around so that you can aim your body towards that short end of your mat. And that might require shifting things around quite a bit. But once you're here in this stance, see if you can try really stabilizing through your legs, pressing through your big toe on that front foot, through that big toe mound, flattening your back. So really, you have natural curves in your back, but really stiffening through your body and hinging forward from your hips to any degree. And that might be a really deep stretch for your hamstring here. You may not have to go very far before you start feeling that. This is a version of pyramid or Parshvottanasana. And can you come back to your breath here and find a way to breathe that feels like there's some ease there? When you're ready, you can lift yourself back up. Find some softness, find some buoyancy, and take your time pivoting to the other side. And if you have blocks may be a great option here. So once you've pivoted to the other side, so your opposite foot is in front, if you have blocks, you might want to place them down on the ground. But find that stability, find the strength in your low body. And if it feels okay to start folding forward, you can try that to any degree. So for me, my hamstrings start singing out loud really quickly on that front leg. So I don't have to go very far. Might be like that for you, might not. Whenever you're ready, take your time coming back up from that. It might help to bend your front knee and really use the strength of that leg to lift you up. As you're ready, you can pivot to face the long edge of your mat. Step your feet in and find mountain pose. So start by noticing the soles of your feet on the ground. Maybe lift all your toes. Press down through your big toe mounds, pinky toe mounds, and heels. Spread your toes and drop them. And then bring your attention up to your ankles. So your ankles are right over your feet because that's where they are. And then come up through your calves and see, can you feel that sense of stacking your knees right over your ankles? And then up to your hips, and your hips stacked right over your knees, which are right over your ankles. And then up through your torso, your shoulders, again, stacked right over all the rest of those joints, till finally your head. And can you find a sense of stability and ease here? Just paying attention to that natural stacking that happens and maybe a little shifting that you can use to encourage that.